Been doing more figuring than working today. I decided that's how I was gonna route those top bars. Cut a little notch out and put it over top. And then I'll do the same on the underside. This will be another bar down underneath, same way, welded together. Been doing more figuring than working today. Trying to figure out how to make landing gear, because I want tires at the back so I can use the hydraulic cylinder from that one. And then I got that. So I'm gonna weld that to that so that the cylinder goes from here to there. And there's one at Princess Auto that will work, 4-inch diameter, so it'll lift 37,000 pounds. This is definitely nowhere near 37,000 pounds. I could get away with a 3-inch, I think, but I don't think I want to. I think I'd rather just do overkill. But I worked it out that since this thing pivots right there, it's the shape of an L, it'll go down. This thing will still be up high enough that it won't get in the way. Because now I got this, I got my 2 bars cut out, but I think I'm gonna do 4 bars just to be extra sure of the weight. You can see I notched these out to fit perfectly on top. Kind of proud of that. Good thinking me. Because now that bar is straight, I don't have to worry about it. And once I get the holes cut out, so you can see kind of starting to take shape finally. I'm curious to see what this packer is going to weigh. I don't know what kind of tires I'm going to have to run at the back of it. I'm thinking I might try and take, here's our old drill. Tires kind of like those ones, like off the back of a cart or something. And put them on the back. They'll be wide, have a lot of air in them. That way they can absorb some of the impact from going down the road. But yeah, there's a cylinder that was on it before. That one's too long. I'll have to figure out something, because I can't have the axle weight all in one point. I'm going to have to put something that goes from here and out to the axle as well, but that is going to twist quite a bit. So I think I'm going to use these, because that's where it came from, the ends of the shafts. So I can use those to reinforce it out to the crossbar somehow, because I'm only going to be using the front up here to basically support the front. But yeah, I have another one of those for the other side, and I have this full piece of 4x4 lift. I was kind of hoping that I could utilize these brackets for something, but it's looking like I'm going to be cutting them off. And so I got both frames done now completely. This one's upside down right now, but I got both frames done completely. Got reinforcing plates, reinforcing plate, welded on. I got 2 of these pivot plates because they're going to be side by side, sandwiched in between. And I haven't really thought about, do I cut this one and put it all right there, or do I cut half moon on each? Because there's going to be another 4x4 bar underneath. because there's that frame and the bearings go on. Those bearings look kind of dimpy now, but they're $800 for the 4 of them. I just kind of want this project to be over with already. Right, dog? Yeah. Just getting my last 4-inch bar all prepped up, cut the brackets off, cleaning up all the extra brackets that were welded on it. Then cut this to those lengths, those 2 bars, double them up. But you can see this reinforcement, it's gonna work out just fine. I can put it to the frame, and I can put it wherever I want. I can even put it like closer over here, move it further up. That's just where it was on the rod weeder. So now I just have to cut out, this is going to be the hard part, cut out perfectly in line on the crossbars where the holes are on this thing to line them up. I could probably do a measurement, but I'm feeling pretty lazy, so I might just stick my hand in there in the hole and permanent marker it. Make the hole a little bit bigger than it has to be. And then when I tack them in, it should work out just fine. But it's finally starting to come together. So earlier this morning I cleaned up the crossbar. Got those brackets off except for that last little one. I got my stuff measured out. I'm matching that other one, so that one will go on the top. This will go on the bottom. I'll just roll this over it. You can see my measurement, inch from the top and then 3 inches out of the bottom. That'll grab it around that hitch, because the hitch is 6x4, this is 4x4, so I'll have an inch above and below. It'll help me keep everything straight. But that one did get bowed a little bit, humped up in the middle. Should be easy enough to stretch back out. And then that one's going to be the more complicated one, where I gotta cut the 2 notches, line them up. I guess my idea worked, but there's a little bit of a gap. This top piece got bowed for some reason, so I'm gonna have to put some weight on the top of it, bring that back down, and then I'll probably clean up that gap up there. Take like something and not kill it. Now I gotta do the back one. I gotta take the back one off still and grind off all the slag. So I put both of the frames in there, and I measured where I think it won't hit when it pivots. I mean, worst comes to worst, I take the lock washers out. But I got my holes marked. And I I got the top bars off. And I got where I got to cut out, because I'm doing half on each. That should give me more hold. My paint pen blew up. Got paint on my boot. It's finally coming together a little bit. And this rear bar on the back, there's a rabbit out there. Anyways, this bar on the back, it's gonna get a cylinder that goes from there to this end. And now that I cut that into a 90, well, close to a 90, I'll taper off this piece and that piece, get a good groove in it. That way my hydraulic cylinder can push on that. It'll push this down. And eventually I'm gonna put an axle on the back of this. That way this thing can have tires on the back. And then you won't have to transport it on a trailer all the time, which would save a lot of time and effort. Finally coming together though. After I get these bars cut and put on there, I have to make flat plates for the end of the 4 that I cut. Debating if I'm filling those holes or not from the pivot bolts where they used to be on the wings. But yeah, Princess Auto has a cylinder, a 4-inch cylinder that'll fit there. And see how there's shafts sticking out of each side. I'm gonna take these pieces, because that's where they used to run, and I'll use them as supports to the axle whenever I find one. I'm trying to find an old implement axle, like off of an old, I don't even know what. It's got to be pretty heavy though, like a back of a combine or something like that. But yeah, it's coming together a little at a time. I will have to drop, I know for a fact I'm gonna have to drop this hitch into the lower hole. That way the neck is up higher, and that my tires will have a better chance of lifting it off the ground. Eventually, I might make another frame that mounts to this, weld it onto the back of here with the same angle that pivots to support it. I don't know yet. We'll see how it works out. So I got the crossbars cut. This one's a little bit wonky still. Didn't cut it wide enough. Yeah, messed up. But I'll be able to take the top bar off and then weld the bushing to the bottom bar completely all the way around, and then put the top bar back on and then weld it around there. But after I take these bushings to get turned on the inside so I can fit that other one in, I'll have to cut these holes bigger. That way it can take my big piece of exhaust pipe, shove it all the way through the entire thing, and get everything perfectly aligned, and then I'll weld it in. And once those are welded in, those big flat plates get put on, one on this side, one on that side, weld those on. Probably have to make a couple gussets to support it, top and bottom. And yeah, then I'll just have to get the cylinder. I cut these bolts down, give myself more room. Hopefully I got the stuff right, because if I didn't, there's no going back now. Toby.